Hello and welcome everyone, I'm Madals and today I've got game number 1 of a best of 1. It's a ladder game, it is a Zerg versus Protoss going down on Newkirk Precinct. And actually may not be a ladder game because it's on Newkirk Precinct TE. Actually no, is T in the ladder pool, was it? I'm confused. I've not had very much sleep since, of course, the ESET Season 2 finals. My voice, I think, is getting slightly better. Let me know in the comment section. Hopefully it will recover. I'm going to take a day's break casting after this, because luckily I've built up. I found a game which I hadn't actually released yet. So hopefully that's going to help. But yeah, let me introduce these two players. Down in the bottom right position, spawning as the Blue Zerg from Team Evil Geniuses, it is Suppy. And his opponent down in the bottom left, the red Protoss player, we have KoNtiNuE. And KoNtiNuE getting down that pylon, up in the high ground, so he should be going for some kind of gateway expand, most likely. It could also be a Nexus first or a Forge in the main, but less common builds than what we normally see. Meanwhile, down for Suppy, what is his plan? Probably going to be a 14 or 15 pull. Generally speaking, you go pull first against Protoss just because cannon rushes. Anyone who's been cannon rush will know the pain of that. It hurts, especially if this is a ladder game. Then you will not want to worry. And ooh, Forge is coming down up in the main, so this very well could actually be a cannon rush. Luckily, the spawning pool is coming down first, but that doesn't mean a cannon rush can't still be effective. There's a lot of space down here. You can get contained, and if you don't notice it, it can be very bad times for you, especially if the hatchery comes down and then this probe sneaks down here and you don't bring an overlord. And we can see the second overlord for Suppy is rallied across the map, not down to the natural base location, so therefore vision may not be granted, and the cannon rush, if it is a cannon rush, could be very successful. Continues sneaking his way up, sees the hatchery. What's he going to do? Okay, so he hides himself from the vision. Suppy still has no idea. The probe coming up towards the main, just going to be like, hey, I'm a probe. Just going to take a little peek up in here, see what's going on. Back at home, pylon on the low ground. So KoNtiNuE may not be cannon rushing. He's got enough minerals now to chuck down that Nexus, so maybe I was pre-jumping the gun there that it was going to be super aggressive. And yeah, the probe just going to take a little look around and be like, hey, I'm a probe, just chilling. I'm not cannon rushing you or anything like that. It's going to go down now though, and this is where Suppy may get a little concerned because there's now enough minerals for a pylon, but no, KoNtiNuE is going to back away slowly. Everything looking safe. Suppy sees the Forge up in the main, so knows there was a Forge first. The cannon, of course, on its way down at the natural. That was a 15 seconds ago cannon, 11 seconds ago gateway. So it was the cannon before the gateway was started. That's all good, but of course, it was a Nexus after the Forge. The two Zerglings of Suppy are going to do a nice little job of checking around here, going, okay, have you cannon rushed me? Are you about to try and kill me? Is there anything sneaky going on? Then splitting the Zerglings. I love this, making sure that he gets the optimal route through to make sure that any possible proxies could be spotted at the earliest possible time. Very nicely done there by Suppy. He's also coming down. We'll see the natural, and this should make him feel a lot more comfortable that that natural is there. As I say, do you know what? I'm safe. This is good news. Third getting taken as well here, so a nice early third timing. Not crazy early, it was about 4 minutes 20, and the reason that's not crazy early is just down to the fact that, do you know what, it was a Forge first, I know I don't need to rush it. If it was a Nexus first, that's when you start wanting to get that third down at about, say, 3:54 minutes, but against a Forge first, you can afford to get it at 4:20 and still be ahead, so this is all good play by Suppy at the moment. He's still checking around though, being very certain to make sure that no sneaky pylons have creeped their way past him, and that's actually quite a safe thing to do. I like that. I think these two Zerglings aren't going to be doing much else, so you might as well make sure that there aren't any proxies. There's also the Overlord doing a good job of checking around everywhere. Probably going to come and leave itself somewhere over this cliff area just to keep vision of this top passage through towards his third in case there's any kind of rush. The Overlord is still at the natural base as well. Sees the chrono boost and where they're being spent, and that's important really because while the Stalker's coming out to join the Zealot, he knows the Warp Gate tech is getting chrono boosted, and interestingly, there's no Mothership core getting started yet for KoNtiNuE. So that means that without that Mothership core, no mass recall, the Zealot and Stalker can go for a little bit of poking, but then there's also the +1. That's the one piece of the puzzle that Suppy doesn't yet know about. However, he is still getting up the 2 gas geysers. They came down at about the 45 supply mark, so really quite a normal time to get both of those, but it's the 3 additional gates now. So even off a Forge Fast Expand, this is going to be some 4-gate pressure. No Mothership core though, means, wow, 6 gates straight away. Oh yeah, here we go. This is now an all-in. 6-gate all-in. Okay, it's not completely all-in, to be fair. Okay, 7 gates, yeah, now it's all in. Forget what I was saying. It is now completely all in, and this has to do a lot of damage. Where is the pylon, though? The probe getting pulled. The Zealot and Stalker moving their way out. Suppy does have quite a few lings on the field, though, so going to try and prevent that from doing too much. But the pylon being hidden up here on the cliff area. The Overlord making his way forward, but the Overlord not going to see these 3 gates, and that is so important unless he changes direction pretty suddenly. We do see now, though, the Zealot and Stalker already making their way in, and the Scout timing could be too late. The Roach Warren trying to come down. Just the Zealot and Stalker is not going to raise alarm bells quite yet, but this pylon certainly will, and that has now been spotted by Suppy, but he's pulling the lings back in order to defend as opposed to taking out the proxy. There's also the other pylon even closer still. The final gateway now just finishing up for KoNtiNuE. He's looking to be in a good spot. Suppy needs to get out a lot more units. His Roach is still 10 seconds away from completion, and until that's done, he's not going to be too happy defending only with lings, especially if a lot more Zealots get warped in. +1, about to finish more Stalkers on their way through, but there's a lot of Zerglings here. Speed miles away from completion, only 30 seconds into it, and that could have really helped Suppy. But what he needs are those Roaches. He's got to hold this off. If he loses the 3rd, he's going to be in a lot of hurt. The Queen almost certain to fall now, and as the Queen goes down, it means that the injects will start to deteriorate. There will be less lava to pump out these 20 Zerglings and these mass numbers of Roaches in order to try and deal with this push. Another wave of warpins on their way through. Pylon up on the high ground. Such aggressive positioning of that proxy, just trying to make sure that there is no way Suppy can get reinforcements. But it does mean these Zerglings coming from behind could try and get this around, but there was a lot of Zealots here. The one important thing is for KoNtiNuE to be a little bit careful. He doesn't really want to get his Stalkers surrounded, but that's exactly what's happening here. The Zealots are trying to engage the Roaches rather than the Zerglings, and that means a less than optimal trade. Suppy, though, still is lacking stuff, and it's that next wave of warp in. It looks like KoNtiNuE is going to be in an amazingly good position. A couple more Roaches coming through, but the Zealots engaging up against the drones. 3 more on their way through. The 3rd base being completely ignored. Suppy trying to just pump out as many units as he can, but knows he can't do it. GG is called, and KoNtiNuE with a pretty much perfectly executed 7-gate push with +1 is able to take the game. So congratulations to him. I hope you enjoyed that quick little match. It was pretty awesome to see that done so well. Thank you all very much for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure you like the video, leave a cool comment, and of course subscribe. And I'll be back tomorrow with yet another new game. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.